Wisp Sports Radio, the voice of women in sport.
Hello and welcome to Soundbites on Wisp Sports Radio. Wisp Sports Radio is brought to you by Highlands Earache Drops.
Earaches are one of the primary causes for doctor visits, with over 30 million visits per year. After you've been diagnosed with an earache by a physician, try Highlands Homeopathic Earache Drops and Tablets. Highlands Homeopathic Ear Drops and Tablets provide natural relief to help you get back to doing what you love. Visit highlands.com/ear-pain to find a retailer near you. Claims are based on traditional homeopathic practice, not accepted medical evidence, not FDA evaluated. Read and follow label directions.
Soundbites is a bi-weekly podcast providing you with practical information on holistic nutrition. On each episode, we feature a new topic to empower you to make healthier choices so you can improve your overall health, performance, and prevent disease. Now, for today's episode, make sure to take out your pen and paper because I'm about to share some amazing information, especially for all those athletes out there that struggle with GI issues, GI distress, which actually is quite a crazy number to see, that about 70% of people who engage in endurance sports experience GI issues. Now, a lot of people think that this might be only due to nutrition, but there are actually other factors that contribute to GI distress, and that's what I'm going to talk about today. What causes it? What are some things you can do? And also, what are some things that you shouldn't do? And just give you some numbers so that you can play around with them, always keeping in mind that just as you train your body physically, you also have to train it in terms of nutrition. It's not something that you can only try on race day. So it's very important that you get to know your body so that you know what works for you and not only focus on a specific number that someone told you should follow, because your body is going to respond different than anyone else. So everybody is different. So again, it's very important for you to get to know your body so you know what works for you. So let's get started with the first three things I'm going to focus on today that actually might be causing the GI distress. So first of all, very intense and long exercise can actually cause GI distress. Mostly running is known to cause GI distress, mostly because there's a lot of stress in the stomach muscles because of all the movement and all the jumping that we do while we are running. So that can actually happen when we're running, and there's really not much you can do when it comes to exercise-induced GI stress. But just to be aware that that could be something that's actually causing the GI distress. Another thing, of course, it's going to be nutrition. So the types of food that you're eating, are you drinking enough water? What type of fluids you're eating? So I'm going to talk more in detail about that. And another thing is also the environment. If it's really hot outside, that can also cause GI distress just because when your body is trying to cool down, the blood flow is not going to be quite necessarily focused on your gut, but on cooling your body. So a lot of the energy that's used for digestion and for absorption of nutrients, it's actually going to be used for cooling down your body. So that can also be something else that causes GI distress. That's why it's so important to always keep yourself cool if you can, if there's ice, if there's water that you can pour, if it's a very hot race or very hot training, those are some things that you can try. Now, the first thing that I tell people that they should always do is that whenever you are eating either a solid, a gel, gummies, whatever it is your choice of food, you need to make sure you are drinking water. If you're just eating, that's not going to be absorbed. So it is as if you haven't eaten anything. You're going to have the solids in the stomach, but because you're not drinking water, it cannot be dissolved. So it's not going to be absorbed. So that's something that you should always keep in mind, that whenever you eat something, even if it's a gel, you have to drink water right away so that it can be absorbed and you don't have those GI issues caused by overconcentration of a solution in your gut.
A world of triathlon from the sports dynamic duo. Listen to the Siri and Beck Show on Wisp Sports Radio.
When you buy different brands, what I recommend you look for are glucose and sucrose. They are going to be better options because they're shorter molecules of sugar. So glucose and sucrose. And this is for people that experience GI issues. Like if it's something that's holding you back, these are some of the things that you can look for. Again, just because they're shorter molecules and they don't require as much energy to be digested and to be processed. The other thing that you can do is make sure that most of your solids are ingested while you're riding your bike. Obviously, during the swim, there's really not eating. So when you get on your bike, that's the time to use the solids that you have, bars, gummies, or whatever your choice of food is. And then for the run, make sure you're using mostly like either gels or something that's going to be absorbed faster. The other thing is making sure that the drinks that you're having have low osmolality. So what that means basically is the concentration of sugar and other ingredients. So if they are very concentrated, you might find yourself struggling with GI issues. So a lot of things we don't have any other options when we're racing. But when we're training, we do. But I also suggest that you make sure you try the foods that are going to be offered during race day so that you can see how you do with those. Because if you don't have any other option, you're going to have to eat what they're giving you. Now, if, again, you have pretty bad GI issues, I highly recommend that you run with a race belt because that's going to benefit you longer in the long run. Now, the other thing is taking short breaks whenever you get water. If this might be caused by the running that you're doing, taking breaks every mile while you're drinking water might help you ease down the GI stress. Now, some of the things that I recommend you avoid, again, look at the ingredients when you're buying the food that you're going to be using for training and racing. Now, maltodextrin is one ingredient that's in most sports drinks and foods. The thing with that is that it's a very long molecule. It releases a lot of heat when it's being digested, absorbed, and that means you're going to have more heat storage. So if you are someone that struggles with GI stress, looking to avoid maltodextrin might be a good option. Now, the other thing are gels. So the thing with gels, even though they work pretty well, is that they are eaten pretty fast. So you open the gel, you just eat it all super quick, and eating a lot of sugar all at once, it's really not the best option. So if you are opting for gels because those work for you, just make sure you have a little bit of water, and then have a little bit more. And again, this is going to be different for everyone. You might just chalk down a gel and that works for you. But if you are experiencing, again, some issues, this might be something that you should take into consideration. The other ingredient that also has sort of a lot of steps, mostly it has to go through the liver and it's a longer process, is fructose. So definitely look for that ingredient as well if you're experiencing GI distress, so that you can see if that makes a difference. And the last thing is, If you are one of those persons that take either ibuprofen, Aleve, Tylenol, or whatever, you have just to make sure that when you take any medication to reduce pain, it's going to interfere with your kidney. It might interfere with your kidney function, fluid balance, and also GI distress. So I know a lot of people do that just to reduce the pain, but just know that taking those medications might cause you GI distress and again, fluid balance. So that could also lead to dehydration. So that's all I have for you guys today. And the takeaway I want you to have from this is to train. Train with the nutrition. Make sure you know exactly what you should be eating so that on race day, this is not something that it's going to hold you back.
Conversations from the world of women's sports. This is Wisp Sports Radio.
I hope you found this helpful, and if you would like more information, please visit my website provided on the show notes. You can also email info@wisports.com with any questions you may have about nutrition. There will also be links in the show notes accompanying this episode at wisports.com. Just go to listen and click on soundbites, and while you're there, you can also find more conversations from the world of women's sports. Please subscribe to Wisp Sports Radio on your favorite podcast player and visit our sponsor site highlands.com/earhypopay. You can also post your comments and share on social media. Just look for Maricarmen Farias and at Wisp Sports on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and LinkedIn. Thank you for listening and supporting women in sports.